back again. Alright, okay, here we go. Been wanting to make this video for a while, like I said, and I did make the video and it was deleted, so I'm starting over now. During this time of the year, I always have to do a lot of self-reflection, and it's kind of forced on me to have to do this because for whatever reason, around this time of the year, the beginning of the new year, Passover coming up, I'm always having to go back to the basics and go back to the fundamentals of the scriptures. And, my foundation is always kind of shaken, not necessarily of my belief in the Torah or my belief in the way that I walk, but just personal struggles, I guess. And I'm always having to have a lot of self-reflection and making sure that I am on track with the Most High. And this always makes me have to go back. And a lot of times I'm kind of, Yahuwah kind of sometimes puts you in a corner to where you don't have anywhere else but to go back to him. And that's kind of, it always happens around this time of the year. And, I thank Yahuwah for that. Because him for humbling us. I thank him for correction and judgment because we need that. And, sometimes it's hard when it first happens and you beat yourself up about certain things, but it's definitely needed. And this particular year was very interesting. I turned 30 this year. For me, that's a milestone. I know it might not be much to anybody else, but for me, it's a milestone. I was also immersed this year. And, in the beginning of the walk, me and my husband immersed each other, but we kind of didn't think that was the right way to go. So we had two dear brothers of ours come down to immerse us in the same place that we immersed each other. So we did that this year. And I don't know, I just always feel like you have to go back to the fundamentals. I found myself getting comfortable, and that's just not a place where I want to be. I never want to be comfortable to where, and by comfortable I mean, how you get in a relationship with someone and then you kind of don't do the same things that you normally do. You might have been like on top of things and making sure you did this and making sure you did that, and you were just on top of things. And for me, I felt like I got comfortable and started to maybe slack on those things. And I mean comfortable in my relationship with Yahuwah. And I wasn't on my toes like I was before. And I never want to be comfortable. Things have put me in that comfortability. And just distractions. There's so many distractions. And I don't even just mean like negative distractions. I mean even things that can be a positive in a way, or things you don't necessarily think of as distractions. Like sometimes just your everyday life can distract you from what your focus is. Raising 6 children and homeschooling them and trying to maintain my life as a wife or mother, whatever. And sometimes I get distracted by all the things. And even, of course, the worldly distractions. Sometimes you get caught up in things that mean nothing really. They don't really have anything to do with the scripture. They're not against the scripture, but they don't really have anything to do with the scripture, and sometimes they can kind of distract us, you know what I mean? For me, like this next year, there's a lot of things that I feel like I've mastered, but there's some things that I still feel like I need to like shape up. And getting distracted is one of them. Also communication. For me this year, I've recognized that about myself, that I'm not a good communicator. I thought that I was, and I didn't really recognize this about myself, but I'm really not. If somebody does something that offends me, I don't always speak up about it. I kind of just let it brush to the side, or, I'm not as vocal about it as I should be. And that's not good. Communication and the lack thereof can really destroy relationships. It can lead to assumptions. It could lead, it could mislead people. Communication is always key. And when you lack that, obviously, things can get misunderstood. And if you make a matter light, then of course that person's going to make a matter light. So what happens with me is that I kind of let things slide over and over and over. And by the time it builds all up, I just kind of blow up. And you go crazy, and you might be yelling and screaming, and obviously that's not the way that you want to present yourself. You never want to blow up on someone because you've let something build up and you didn't communicate properly in the beginning. And then when you blow up, it's like, okay, well, now nobody can even hear you or receive you because of the way that you acted irrational. I feel like it's like this constant repetitive thing. I kind of feel like I'm being attacked, so then I kind of blow up. And you lose relationships over stuff like that, because it's, if you communicated better, then maybe things could have been different. That I'm dealing with, and that's needs to be corrected for sure. Actions, communication, patience is another thing that I sometimes struggle with. I'm the type of person that I like to go, move. And when I know what I want, when I want it when I want it. Like, when I know what I want, I want to get it. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like, what's the wait for? I already know what I want. Let's just go do it. And of course, that's not. Sorry, my mama's calling. It's obviously not the best thing to do. It takes patience. Sometimes it takes thinking things through and just waiting. And it's so hard for people to wait sometimes, especially me. I can only speak for myself, but it's hard to wait sometimes when you really want, like I said, when you know what you want, you just want it. Like, why do I have to wait? But sometimes it's just best to wait. Like, I bumped my head so many times trying to rush into things, and it didn't make any sense. I just wanted to come on and share that, because always around this time of the year, I'm always having to do self-reflection. I'm always having to re-examining myself to make sure that I'm in line with the Torah. I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to get back into a place where I'm distracted or I'm too comfortable, because it's just not where I want to be. I say comfortable, I mean, just, you know how sometimes you just kind of let your guard down too much? It's like, I'm not paying attention and I'm not staying focused. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I really just don't know how else to express it other than being comfortable. I just want to share that for anyone else who might be going through similar things. That's just kind of the things that I'm going to focus on this year. Communication, distractions, and patience. Those are my top 3 things that I want to, strive to do better. It's that I didn't realize the camera was shaking so much because of I'm holding it and I'm shaking it, doing all this, that I'm shaking the camera like crazy. I wanted to mention too, a sister of mine always talks about, when we complain about situations, and a lot of times people can complain. I'm speaking in general because I hear people complain all the time. People and myself also, sometimes we can just complain. I don't know, I always like when a sister of mine always says this, like, I don't want to hear complaining about the issue. I want to hear solutions. Let's find solutions to the issue and move forward. Because we can sit and complain and whine about this and that, but let's just find solutions, apply those solutions, and then actually do them, and then move forward. Seriously. So I just really, I know that might seem like, well, duh. And a lot of the things like communication, patience, and some of these things might just seem like, well, duh, but it's one thing to actually say them, then to actually apply them, because that's a whole nother thing. And even knowing how to apply it, and even knowing the steps to take to apply them. So yeah, I just wanted to add that to no complaining, finding solutions, and then applying it and moving forward. I think that is very, very important, because we can complain, whine, and this, and this, this, that, and the third. I always want to say that, this, that, and the third. Anyway, yeah, we can always complain, but I don't even know if I just used that right. But let's actually move forward and find solutions to these issues that we're having, whatever they may be. So the issues that I said I have with communication and patience and distractions, find solution to those things and move forward. No point of dwelling on anything, just finding solutions and dealing with them and moving forward. Shalom.